What's up, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here. We're bringing you another edition of our how-to series. Today we're going to go over how to rig up a floating worm. So the floating worm is an old school technique. Not a lot of anglers use it very much anymore, but it still catches a ton of fish, and it's especially effective upcoming in the spring and then all the way through the fall season as well. All right, so the equipment you're going to need here, you're going to need a swivel, you're going to need an offset round bend worm hook, your favorite 6 or 7 inch straight tail worm, and you're gonna need, of course, your rod and reel setup. For this technique, we recommend using like a 7-foot to 7.6 medium heavy spinning rod with like a 15 to 20 pound braided main line. And then of course, you're gonna need some 10 to 15 pound leader. For this demonstration, we're gonna be using some 150 pound braid and some 20 pound floor just to make it a little easier to see. All right, the first step here is gonna be attaching your swivel to your main braided line. So with the swivel, it's gonna do 2 things for you. It's gonna help eliminate line twist, obviously, but the second thing it's gonna do, it's gonna add a little bit of weight to your presentation to help get that worm to get a kind of a slow sinking action when it's paused. And using a little bit bigger swivel is gonna help not only pull that worm down, but it's also gonna give your presentation kind of a look like your worm is chasing a small bait fish. So a large silver barrel swivel is key in this presentation. The next part is gonna be attaching your fluorocarbon leader to the swivel to the other end of the swivel, and you want to make sure you give yourself enough line to work with so that you can have about 12 to 18 inches of line down to your hook once you attach your hook. So you don't want to go too long, don't want to go too short and leave yourself with not enough line. So I'm just attaching a quick clinch knot. You can use any of your favorite preferred knots, preferred connection knots. If you're looking for more information on different connection knots, you can go over to the Learning Center at tacklewarehouse.com. We have a bunch of videos on a bunch of different styles of knots you can check out. All right, the next step is gonna be attaching your hook. So like I said, give yourself about that 12 to 18 inch gap, enough room to tie your hook on and don't come up short on your leader. Last step here, putting that hook on. I'm gonna use a quick Palomar knot with my offset round bend worm hook. Okay, once you get that on, you're gonna trim your tag end up, and then you're gonna be ready to rig your worm. All right, the last step, rigging that soft plastic straight tail worm. Now you're gonna rig this up just like how you would with the Texas rig, but there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either rig it straight and have it perfectly in line, or you can put a little bit of kink in the worm. So once you get it up there, you can go straight. Some anglers think that, that straight presentation gives you a little bit better, kind of side to side action like you would get with just a traditional Texas rig. So that would be kind of rigging it straight. Or what some anglers like to do is go a little bit deeper than what you would with a traditional Texas rig style worm. And you rig that guy in there and you put a little bit of a bend in that worm. So that bend in that worm is gonna give your worm a little bit more action, and it's gonna help that worm dart around and go side to side and just get a little bit different look. So 2 different ways you can do it. Either one works fine, and they're both gonna catch a ton of fish. All right, thanks for tuning into this how-to video on how to rig up a floating worm. If you learned something here today, make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you have other ideas on videos you would like us to film in the future, make sure to drop a comment down below. To see more videos like this and other knots, rigging techniques, make sure to go to the Learning Center at tacklewarehouse.com.